What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. And I never thought that I would be making a video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, but I had found out that the game has announced its end of service, which is going to happen February 29th, 2024. I actually found out about this literally the day before my third son was born, which, by the way, great news. He was born very healthy. His name is Archer Phoenix. My wife and I, my two boys, Edge and Zayden, absolutely love him. We're so blessed to have another beautiful life to raise in our family. I'm a daddy of 3 now, which means I'm going to be so much more busier, but I'm going to try to produce as much content as I can on my Twitch channel and as well as my YouTube channel. But touching up on the topic of the end of service for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, this one for me, even though I don't make content on this game anymore, it still does break my heart. And the reason being is this game was the main reason why my channel took off. I still vividly remember the very first video I made back in early 2018 when I found out that the global version for this game was going to release. I had already been playing the Japanese version and I was so excited to finally see this game coming out globally for everybody else to enjoy. It is a dream come true of a game to have this, this game come out with all of these different Final Fantasy characters that we all have enjoyed and loved, no matter where we come from with our backgrounds. Like, some of us started off with Final Fantasy 1 on the original Nintendo, some of us started off with Final Fantasy 7, some of us started off with Final Fantasy 13. It didn't matter where, but the thing that this game brought, and what was so powerful about it, is it brought together a community of fans who just absolutely loved Final Fantasy, and we got to see all of these characters interact in a beautiful story. And it really does break my heart that I see this game finally coming to its closure. Now, there's definitely factors as to why this happened. I'm going to try not to touch up on it too much because I want to just focus on the positives that this game has brought for me, and as well as to the rest of the community that love Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. So besides it being the game that, really propelled my channel to really growing and, fostering an amazing community that I still absolutely love, it definitely brought people together, especially during the pandemic when it started. I remember talking to not just other content creators, but just those of you as part of the community, just talking about this game, checking in on each other, asking, hey, how are you doing? Not just about where our progress was with the game, but, where we were in life. And I just absolutely appreciated that. And that something as simple as a mobile game, was bringing people together. So I definitely am super grateful for that. I absolutely enjoyed a lot of the content that this game brought. Mind you, some of it started to dwindle, which was part of the reason why I took a huge step back in not making content on this game anymore. You guys know that I pretty much lost my passion for creating content on the game. This was around, I want to say, late 2022. And when it comes to being a content creator where you start to lose passion for something, it also becomes less enjoyable for you to play the game on a consistent basis, which is why I decided to take a step in a different direction and just branch out with different types of content. Some of that content succeeded, some of that content didn't succeed, but the thing is that I was happy and I was still enjoying what I was doing. But I still cannot forget all the things that Dissidia Opera Omnia did for me, all of the growth that it brought for me, all of the friendships that I have made, all of the wonderful people that I've met. I had an opportunity to go to E3 and TwitchCon via, Square Enix. They invited me out, which I am so eternally grateful for that. Super grateful to Josh and everybody else over at Square Enix, all the wonderful people that I got to meet because of Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. So again, massive, massive thank you, to what this game has done for me and to what this game has done for others. I totally understand and empathize with you guys about being heartbroken by this. I mean, even I myself am heartbroken by it, even though I don't really play the game and I no longer create content anymore, but it had such a huge impact on the, several years of my life, from the pandemic and even a little before the pandemic, and also to those of you. So I totally empathize with you guys about, feeling very sad and feeling heartbroken in regards to why this game is shutting down. However, if we're looking at it objectively, we have seen a trend of things that weren't really helping the game out anymore. Personally, if you ask me, where I saw the beginning of decline for this game, is during the 5th anniversary for Global, because when it comes to a 5th anniversary, I see that as a massive milestone, especially for Dissidia Opera Omnia to stand with titans such as like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, all of these heavy hitter titles that are just really, setting the bar even higher and higher for these mobile games or these live service games. And Dissidia Opera Omnia still stood there with it, but when I saw the 5-year anniversary for Global and I saw the reveal, even though I wasn't playing anymore, I questioned it and I asked myself, this is all they could give the fans for a 5-year anniversary? And in my mind, I'm like, this seems like a decline, honestly, on the game's end. Like, I honestly don't understand why they couldn't have given the fans something a little bit more. And then afterwards, as I saw the content progressing, even though, like I said, I wasn't playing, I started to see how Shinryu and Re-Shinryu and all of that just kind of was very monotonous. It was the same thing. Every character can charge the gauge. Characters can do follow-up attacks now. It was all about just a numbers game, which I understand when it comes to a live service game. That's generally the direction that they want to go. But with Dissidia, it was definitely not a good direction in the long run to keep your player base satisfied. And that was one of the things that they mentioned in the announcement for the end of service. If you guys had a chance to read it up, I think it was the producer or something that did a little bit of a write-up, but they were having a hard time satisfying players. And I think had they taken a step back and kind of reevaluated FRs and the Shinryu era, there is a potential that this game could potentially have been saved. I think another way this game could have lasted a little bit longer is if they had listened to fans and given us characters that we actually wanted to see. If we had gotten characters like, let's say, like at the beginning of the BT era, the BT Plus era, that we actually wanted to see, Riku, Red 13, TG Sid, all of these very popular characters that would have definitely brought this game a little bit more revenue than it was already making, because this game was not making a lot of money. I think this game could have potentially have had a longer lifespan, because that would have satisfied your player base, that would have satisfied your fans. Everybody would have been happy. I mean, it's cool that we got to see some of these characters that we never really had a chance to play as, like Dorgan, Zazat, Rufus, who else? Jagran. I think it's cool, but at the same time, it was just kind of some of us that were really diehard fans of characters that we love. We questioned it and we wondered, why this character when you still have this character that clearly needs to be released? So I think that's one thing that that definitely hampered the game down a bit. And then another thing, I know we praise this game a lot for its generosity. I know we praise it a lot for being super free-to-play friendly. You barely need to spend anything and you could have like a decked out account. But the thing is, it's a double-edged sword at the same time, because if you take a look at the bundles that this game offers, outside of like the Mog Pass and perhaps the Deluxe Mog Pass, it's expensive. And for a game that's already generous enough as it is, if you want your player base to really spend on it, which is what a lot of other gacha games do, where they're very heavily aggressive on the monetization. I'm not saying Dissidia needed to be super aggressive, but you wanted to create some sort of... You wanted to create an incentive for the players to spend. Because if they didn't need to spend, it was... it does come into question how this game survived as long as it did. It survived for 6 years, which is pretty impressive and something that we all need to be proud of that Dissidia Opera Omnia was able to do, for all this time, even though we had all these heavy-hitting titles coming out that had live service that was really, again, setting the bar higher and higher and higher. But Dissidia stood there. But there were things definitely that could have been improved. There was feedback that they could have taken into consideration. There were suggestions that they definitely could have listened to, coming from the player base that we had been talking about. Even when I was still active in it, there were things that I was saying, I'm like, they need to do this, they need to do that. But it is what it is, guys. When it comes to these live service games, there is the terms of service that we all agree to. Eventually, even something as good as Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia will come to an end. And unfortunately, that is that time now. Within about 3 months from now is going to be the eventual shutdown of this game. All of my videos for this game will definitely stay on my YouTube channel, because they're memories that I cherish. They're memories that I created not only for myself but for you guys, and hopefully you guys can still enjoy them, even though once the game shuts down, that's going to be it. I would love to see an offline version of this game. Trust me, I would love it. I don't see it happening. It looks like Square wants to take a different direction with it. But all we have, guys, now is memories, and I think that's still important to cherish. I know some of us are upset, some of us are questioning why Square is doing this now, this and that. A lot of factors play into it, but all in all, I think it's important to be grateful for what we did get out of this game, what we did get out of this community, because I will tell you right now, that Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera community, even though I've had my ups and downs, not gonna lie, even I myself, more so recently, have caused my own fair share of drama, which I apologize for. You know, I'm not that type of a person, but at the same time, it is growth for me as a person to be in those situations. But the community itself I've never experienced anything like this community in such a grand and positive fashion compared to any other community that I've been a part of. And that's something that I'm always going to hold true to my heart, and that I will always remember and cherish, and that I think everybody should definitely remember and cherish. So this is going to be my video on my thoughts on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia's announcement of end of service. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you to everybody that has been so supportive throughout the years on this channel, and to all the other channels out there that have been very, very heavy on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. I'm definitely still going to continue the channel. You guys know that I've been trying out different things. I've been trying out Ever Crisis. I've been trying out Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail. I'm still here. I will still be creating content as time allows me to, because you know that I am a busy guy now with 3 kids. But yeah, guys, I just want to say thank you to Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. Bon voyage. Goodbye. Great memories. Great game. Thank you so much again, and stay blessed, everybody.